I study business and interactive and visual design, so I major in marketing. So yeah, I chose to do that degree because it's a perfect blend, I believe, of having the business side and then the creative side. And with agencies in the industry moving more and more towards offering, a diverse offerings in terms of, digital, traditional, I think it's really important and quite valuable for organizations as well as agencies to hire professionals who do have a large skill set as well, and therefore they can offer their clients more. I think the main challenge is knowing where to put your effort. So you've got to realize that you can't do everything to probably the extent that you wish you could, as bad as that may sound. So I suppose if I put my effort into A, then will I get more return on investment, I suppose, than putting my effort into B. So working that out and that balance on a scale. So whether that's at the moment there's a really exciting project that you need to put a lot of effort into, then maybe that will put your scale up in terms of work, and then when uni gets hectic, then that scale changes a little bit. So yeah, knowing that so that you don't get burnt out and that you don't have a massive breakdown is extremely important. Yeah, and I suppose that also comes back to perspective. So you've got to realize that you also need to have a life of some sort. So having that balance and knowing where to put your effort in terms of the extent as well is important. Yeah, definitely. I think also it's important to understand that your boss, hopefully, and I think in most cases would understand that you are still studying, you're trying to get your education at the same time as studying or working in the industry, and your university lecturers and tutors 100% understand that as well, and they really respect that as well. So I think if you make both parties aware of expectations, that helps as well. And once they understand, what you're doing, and I suppose where you're at with your education and your career, then they can really be a massive help. And I only found that out in the last year or so. So yeah, I think that's really valuable to take on board. So weekends are definitely the time where I can just really knuckle in and get a lot of my uni work done. So I mean, I still really value having a life, and that's something that's really important to me. And I'm going to be more successful in my job and in my studies if I am a happy person and if I do get to experience other aspects of life. So I still do try and have a balance, and I still try and do things on my weekend, and it's a scale again. So when uni gets busy, then I'll dedicate more of my weekend towards that. And at the end of the day, you're only at uni for 24 weeks of the year or something like that. So if you knuckle in and get that done, you've got the rest of your time to explore or whatever you want to do with your spare time, spend time with mates and family. And then also, I suppose, identify. I think it's interesting, people think they have people who don't do much often think they don't have any time, and then people who do have a lot on can see and identify those gaps where they can utilize. So for example, on my way to uni on the shuttle bus, that's 10 minutes or so that I can knock off a reading or for uni, that sort of thing. So I suppose you become more attuned to identifying those opportunities in time that you can take advantage of. Yeah, so I think number one is to understand that both your university and your workplace do understand what you're going through, and they are extremely supportive. So as long as both parties know expectations, then they can really help you out. I think number two is to not stay silent, so both with your colleagues and with your tutors, lecturers. So that comes back to point one, I suppose, in a way. It's making sure everyone is understanding, and if no one knows, then no one can help you out. And then I think number three is to try and allocate time to each. So say that's your weekends, you allocate that chunk of time to your uni, and if you can identify those gaps in your schedule, or you know, those opportunities in time where you can capitalize on for uni or whatnot, then allocating that for uni, or yeah, and then that also helps that when I'm at work, I only think about work. I don't need to think about uni or assessment, that sort of thing. Definitely exercise. That's my outlet for sure. As much, I mean, physically it's great obviously for you, but mentally I need that more than anything. It's an amazing outburst, and you know, something that really helps clear my mind and